Hi, good morning. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is real numbers. And in 9th standard you studied more about real numbers. What are real numbers? Natural numbers. See one bag. Natural numbers are there in the bag. All numbers are there. Integers are there. Z or I we can use. Rational numbers are there. Q. And irrational numbers also are there. Total we will call it as real numbers. Shortly we will write R for real numbers. Capital letter R. Next year means in +1 if you are continuing maths, you can see capital letter R like this we will write for representing real numbers system. Okay, see, think about real numbers, infinite numbers are there. In between any two numbers you are taking, there are infinite numbers again, isn't it? So, very wonderful collection, no? Infinite collection of numbers are there in the set of real numbers. And that and all you know already, we are not wasting time thinking about that one. Then, first we have to study fundamental theorem of arithmetic. See one number 12. We can factorize 12 like this, 2, 6, 2, 3. That means 12 you can write as 2 into 2 into 3. And what is in by prime numbers and composite numbers? Prime number means what? Prime numbers means a number, its factors are that number itself and 1. 1 and the number itself is a factor of a number. We will call that number as a prime number. What about 2? Is it a prime number? Of course, it's a prime number because it does not have another factors other than 1 and the number. Only its factors are 1 and 2. 1 is a factor for every numbers. And the number itself is a factor of for every numbers. If those type of numbers which are having 1 and the number itself, we will call it as prime numbers. Others means in that sense, in what sense? The number which have a proper factor, we will call it as a composite number. Clear? And what about 1? 1, is it a composite number? Not a composite number because it does not have proper factor and it's not a prime number also. Okay, so other than 1 we are discussing prime number and a composite number. 1 is neither prime nor composite, not included because minimum 2 factors we required. 1 is having only one factor 1. So minimum 2 factors is for prime numbers and more than 2 factors is for composite numbers. Clear? So, see 12 we can write it as 2 into 2 into 3. That means prime factorization is possible for a composite number. The fundamental theorem of arithmetic says, fundamental theorem of arithmetic says every composite number can be expressed as the prime as a product of its prime numbers, its prime factors. What I told? Every composite number can be expressed as product of its prime factors. Every composite number have of course what? Prime factors. Every composite numbers have prime factors. So if we can, this you know already means you studied 12 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3. The way of writing like this is possible because of this theorem exists. Okay. So, fundamental theorem of arithmetic, according to this, the way of writing like this, we are calling it as fundamental theorem of arithmetic, that much only. Prime factorization is possible for a composite number. That is the statement of the theorem. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic says prime factorization is possible for a composite number. That much only, simple idea. Okay. So, 12 we wrote it as 2 into 2 into 3. 2 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number. So, we wrote 12 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3. And another one number 18 I am writing. 18 is equal to 18 we can factorize 2, 9, 3. So, we are getting it as 2 into 3 into 3. two numbers prime factorization I wrote. And see, can you write 12 its prime factorization in another way? Like this you can write, no? 12 we can factorize. I divided by 2 first. So dividing by 3. You are doing dividing by 3. So 4 3s are 12, 2, 2. So I can write 12 is equal to 3 into 3, 2 into 2. See, what about these two? Different one? Not different one. Same thing. See, only the order is different. So once more I am telling the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Prime factorization is possible, but it is unique, not but it is unique. So unique prime factorization is possible for a composite number. What is fundamental theorem of arithmetic says? It says unique prime factorization is possible for a composite number. Okay. Means every composite number can be expressed as a unique way of expressed as a product of its prime in a unique way. The same number I am writing one more time. 2 into 2 into 3 and 18 is equal to 2 into 3 into 3. And you studied the highest common factor and the lowest least common multiple. Highest common factor and least common multiple. What is highest common factor? See, 2 is a factor here, 2 is a factor here. So 2 is a common to both the numbers. So highest common factor contains 2 into this, only 2 2s are here, here only 1 2. So minimum we will take for highest common factor HCF, and here 3 1 times is coming, so 3. So 6 is the HCF of these two numbers. How you will write the LCM? That and all you studied in lower classes, I think. LCM is equal, here 2 2s are there, so we will select 2 2s since we are writing the multiples. And here 2 3s are there, so it is coming 3. So it is coming 4 into 9, 36 is the least common multiple. Clear? And some more problem we can do to find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple. See, lowest means least common multiple. Common multiple will be many. Among that one, least one we are taking. Common factors will be many, and among that one, highest one we are selecting. Okay, that is its meaning. See, one number's prime factorization is coming like this: 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 5 into 5 into 5. Another number's common prime factorization is coming 2 into 3 into 5 into 5 into 7. One number, when we did prime factorization we got like this. What is its HCF? How we will find HCF of this number? See here how many 2s are there? 2 2s are there. So here 2 2s and here 1 2, minimum we will take for writing common factor. So 1 2 we will write. Like this you need to find the highest common factor and LCM, least common multiple. Here 2 3s are there, here 1 3, so we will select 1 3. Least one we will select. Here 3 5s are there, here 2 5s are there, so minimum is coming in this one, so we are taking 2 5s. Here no 7 is there, here 1 7 is there, so minimum is coming no 7. So no 7 is there. So this product is the HCF of the given two numbers. And how we will write LCM? LCM equal to maximum we will take. Maximum times the prime numbers is coming in which number, that one we will select. Here 2 2s are there, here 1 2, so 2 2s we will select. Here 2 3s are there, here 1 3, so 2 3s we will select. Here 3 5s, here 2 5s, so 3 5s we will select. Here 7, here no 7, so we will select 1 7. This product will give the least common multiple. Got the idea? One more. One number's prime factorization is coming 7 into 13 into 13. Another one number's prime factorization is coming 5 into 3 into 2. Okay? Or one more 2 we can write. Then find HCF. HCF is equal to here 1 7, here no 7, so no 7 we will select. Here 2 13, here no 13, so no 0 13 we will select. So means 13 no times. Here 1 5, here no 5, so no 5. Here 1 3, here no 3, so no 3. Here 2 2s, here no 2, so no 2. Minimum we will select. So no number is there common. So we will write HCF is equal to 1. And the least common multiple LCM equal to. LCM is equal to here 1 7, here 2 13, here 1 5, here 3, 2 into 2. So maximum times in which number the prime factorization is coming more time, that one we will select for writing LCM. And where it is coming minimum, we will select that one for HCF. I think you got the idea. Okay. Then we have 12 is equal to 2 into 2 into 3, which example we discussed before. 2 into 3 into 3. Its HCF we got it as 2 into 3, that is equal to 6. Its LCM we got it as 2 into 2 into 3 into 3, that is 3 3s are 9 into 2, 36 we got. Okay. What will come? HCF into LCM. Just multiply 36 into 6. We will get it 216. 206. 6 cube is 216. That's why I wrote very fast. 216. Then what is 12 into 8? 12 into 18. 12 into 18. So 18 into 12. 36, 8, 1. 6, 1, 2. We got 216. 12 into 18 also we got 216. So make a conclusion. This will be true for every numbers. See, two numbers product will be same as its HCF into its LCM. Got it? That will be, that with the example I explained, you can select any number, any two numbers property only. So take any two numbers and check whether the product of two numbers is coming HCF into LCM. That means generally you can write two numbers A and B. HCF of AB into LCM of AB equal to product of numbers A into B. So for any two numbers A and B, you can write HCF into LCM equal to product of the numbers. Okay, so the questions will come like this. HCF will give and LCM will give. One number will give, find the other number. Like this missing terms will come. Means 1, 2, 3, 4 are there, no? Any 3 will give, find the fourth one. Like this questions will come for examination. Okay. Then, see one problem is given like this. Check whether 6 raised to n can end with 0 for any value of n. What is the question? Check whether 6 raised to n can end with 0. Means 6 raised to n's one's digit will be 0. Check it. Whether it's for any value of n will give us 6 raised to n ending with 0. Ending with 0 means one's digit is 0. See 0, 0, it's ending with 0. 310 ending with 0. So like this numbers may come or will not come, like that we need to check whether 6 raised to n will end with 0 for any value of n. See actually 6 raised to 1 is equal to 6, 6 raised to 2 is equal to 36, 6 raised to 3 is equal to 216, equal to 216. Then for finding 6 raised to 6, we will multiply with the 6, so 6 into 6, like this we will get now. So we know whenever it will end with 0. No powers of 6 will be coming one's digit as 0. Clear? So we need to say we need to give the explanation. Like this we will give 6, we can write as 2 into 3 raised to n. We factorized 6. 6 is a composite number. So according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, we can do prime factorization for composite number. So 6 we can write as 2 into 3. And see, to get to 0 in the ones place, we need to get 2 and 5. 2 into 5 only will come 10, 0. No other prime factors other than 2 or 5. We need to get 2 and 5 in the prime factorization. Then only there is a chance for getting 0 in the ones place digit. Correct now? So we are going to discuss in that way, starting like this. 6 raised to n we can write as 2 into 3 raised to n. Here, according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, 2 into 3 raised to n only possible. Correct now? Then, can you write in any other factorization is possible with 6 as 2 into 5 and means 2 and 5 is including like that prime factorization is possible? Not possible. So, we need to conclude our answer. 6 raised to n can be written as 2 into 3 raised to n. According to uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic, its prime factorization contains 2 and 3 only. To get 0 in the ones place, we need to get 2 and 5. Here we are not getting so. So, the 6 raised to n will not end with the 0. Got it? So, how will you give the explanation? This is the explanation for this answer. How will you give the explanation? What is the steps you will give? Steps in the sense, what is the explanation you will give? To get ending with the 0, a number ending with the 0, we need to get its prime factorization should contain 2 and 5. The uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic says 6 has no other prime factorization other than 2 and 3, 2 into 3. So, it does not contain 2 and 5. Therefore, 6 raised to n will not end with the 0. I think you understood. Okay, shortly. To get 0 in the ones place, we need to get 2 and 5 in the prime factorization. Here it is not so. That's why it will not end with the 0. Clear? Okay. Then we need to do another type of one question. This is, which I explained, is very important question. One example question is there in your textbook, 4 raised to n. Prove that, check whether 4 raised to n will end with 0 or not. Same way we will give the explanation. 4 raised to n means 2 into 2 raised to n. Its prime factorization does not contain 2 and 5. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic says, uniqueness of fundamental theorem of arithmetic says, 4 we can write only 2 into 2. So, there will not be chance for getting 0 in the ones place. Okay, that means that 4 raised to n, no value for n gives 4 raised to n is equal to ending with the 0. Clear? Another one question is coming like this, 7 into 3 into 11 plus 11. Prove that this is a composite number. How will you give the proof? When you will say it's a composite number? A composite number means it should have a proper factor. At least one proper factor should be there. Then only we will call it as composite number. Isn't it? 1 and the number itself is a factor for every number. Other than that one more number we are getting as factor, factor, we can call it as a composite number. Okay. Then see, 7 into 3 into 11 is equal to 11. See, I am doing like this. 2 terms are there. So, 11 is common factor in both terms. So, I am taking the outside. 7 into 3 plus 1. Okay. So, it is possible 7 into 3 plus 1 is 21 plus 1, 22. 21 plus 1, 22. So, this number, the given number can be expressed as 11 into something at least, no? 11 into something. So, 11 is a proper factor for it, or you can factorize this one also, 2 into 11. So, prime factorization is possible. That's why it is a composite number. Okay, fundamental theorem of arithmetic says for every composite number we can have prime factorization. We can write it as a product of its prime factors. That is possible here. So, it is a composite number. Clear? Then, another one question is coming. One circular path is there. Circular path. And Sonia, he takes 18 minutes to cycle this circular path. And Ravi, he takes 12 minutes to take one round. Sonia takes 18 minutes to cover the circular path and Ravi takes 12 minutes to cover the circular path. And both of them started at the same time and at the same point. So Ravi's one rotation means 18 minutes and second rotation means 36 minutes. Third rotation means 36 plus 18, 54 minutes. Like this it's going. And this Ravi takes 12 minutes to complete this one and next 12 minutes means 24 minutes. Next 12 minutes means 36 minutes. And our question is, how many minutes, after how many minutes will they meet each other? Okay, so after how many minutes they will meet each other? After how many minutes they will meet each other? I told the answer actually. See, for Sonia, 1:18, 18, 2:18, 36, 3:18, 54. It's going like that, isn't it? And Ravi, 12 minutes, 24 minutes, 36 minutes, etc. So at what time, after how many minutes they will meet each other? Their common multiple. At their common multiple they will meet each other again, isn't it? So we need to find the least common multiple of 18 and 12. We did this question, no? Yes, 18 is equal to 36. We got LCM of 18 and 12 is equal to 36. LCM of 18 and 12. So after 36 minutes they will meet each other. Got it? That means Sonia's second round completion and the Ravi's third round completion, they will meet each other. Okay. So that much only about the concept fundamental theorem of arithmetic, and we are discussing just to revising what is a irrational number. Do you remember irrational number? Irrational number you studied. The numbers which can be written in the form P by Q is called rational number. Rational number, and which cannot be written in the form P by Q, which is not possible, we are calling it as irrational numbers, isn't it? So we studied some examples. Root 2 we cannot write in P by Q form. P by Q form is not possible for root 2. P by Q form in the sense P and Q must be integers. You can write like this, root 2 by 1. So this is not the form for giving the explanation of rational numbers. To write it as a rational number, P and Q must be integers and Q cannot be 0, isn't it? So P by Q form with P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0, then we will call it as rational number. Root 2 we can't write like this. Root 2 by 1 is we can write, but root 2 is not an integer. So root 2 is not in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Like that no integers is getting. So root 2 is an irrational number. Same way root 3. So all prime numbers square root will come irrational numbers. So we can discuss more about irrational numbers in the next class. So that much only for today. I think you can do the second exercise from your textbook. See, first exercise is not there for examination. It means the revised syllabus is not giving the first exercise. So second exercise you can complete today itself. Okay, thank you.